Remember, you're going to have a mini quiz on this tomorrow. So, guys, you have a typo right here. Can you please cross out where it says undefined and write no sum? So here's what's happening. You're going to have two formulas that you need to memorize for tomorrow. The first one is finite. And remember, finite has a start and a stopping point. This is the formula to add up any geometric sequence where it stops. Notice a sub 1 is out to the front, and then you have a fraction. You're going to be subtracting your r values from 1. If you notice for your infinite, it almost kind of looks similar. The a sub 1 is now a numerator, and it's still 1 minus r at the bottom. However, what you need to remember for infinite sums only, just for infinite sums, my common ratio has to be less than 1. It has to be a fraction. Not an improper fraction, but it has to be a fraction. It has to be less than 1. So here's how this is going to work. For problem number 1, we're going to have 21 numbers. I know there's 21 numbers because 0 is first. So if 0 is first, then 21 places down the line on a sequence is the end. So I know that my total right here is going to be a 21. Are there any questions on how I know there's 21 numbers in this sequence? Then you're good. Then you take it at face value. But if it starts at something else, you got to remember it starts on that number. So it starts at 0. So we have 21 numbers. All right. So notice this is going to be equal to a sub 1. I don't know a sub 1. Let's find out what it is. To find a sub 1, remember the bottom of the sigma notation is where it starts. So n is going to equal 0. So we're going to plug in 0 up here. So it's going to be 10 times 1/5 to the 0. What's anything to the 0 power?
1.
So our value is going to be 1 times 10. So a sub 1 is 10. This 10 goes in front right there. Now the rest is going to be a fraction. And you guys definitely need a calculator. You got to learn these steps. All right, so here's what this fraction is going to look like. It is always 1 minus the ratio raised to whatever number is in the sequence. These two numbers are always going to match. And guys, look, down here, 1 minus r, y'all need to do that in your head. Remember the r is 1/5. 1 minus 1/5, you need to be able to do that in your head, guys. You're going to have to be able to combine the fractions in your head. Remember, 1 minus r, if r is 1/5, this is 5 over 5. Y'all need to do that process in your head at this point in the game. All right, turn on your calculator. You need to memorize this process. Here's how it's going to go. What we're going to do is we're going to take this to the 21st power. You're going to have to use parentheses because this calculator will totally mess up. So go ahead and put 1 divided by 5 in parentheses. Use your exponent key and raise it to the 21st. Shh. So when you do 1/5 divided by, or raised to the 21st power, you're going to get something in scientific notation. Just leave how it is in scientific notation. Remember, that's this part right here. So we're going to do 1 minus this answer. Does y'all's screen look like mine? All right, now hit 1 minus, and then pull up the answer by hitting the second and then the minus or the negative key down there. That is the numerator. Does y'all's screen look like this? Did you just get a 1? All right, now we're going to hit divide and put 4 divided by 5 in parentheses. So hit divide and put 4 divided by 5 in parentheses and hit enter. Now remember, that's just the stuff in brackets. We still have to multiply by 10. So if we added up all the numbers in the sequence, all of those 21 numbers, they would add up to 12.5. So that's going to be the answer for number 1. Let's try it again. Let's look at number 2. So for problem number 2, notice where it starts. For problem number 2, it starts on 1. So it's safe, guys. 1 through 10 is exactly 10 numbers. We're going to be good on that. But before I do anything, a sub 1 goes right here. So we need to figure out a sub 1. For a sub 1, remember the starting value for the letter N is at 1. So let's plug in the number 1 where the letter N is. What does that turn into? And what's anything to the 0 power? There we go. A sub 1 is 1. So we're going to put a big 1 right there. All right, now let's totally work on our fraction. Now remember, it is 1 minus your R value of 5/2 raised to the same number that you wrote right here. So this is 2 to the 10. And then the bottom is going to be -3/2. All right, let's go ahead and do what is in parentheses again, or actually brackets. I'm going to focus on 5 divided by 2. I'm going to raise that to the 10th power. Now remember, that is going to be 1 minus this value. Let's hit the number 1, hit the minus button, and pull up that previous answer. So remember, that's the numerator. We have to divide by the denominator. So to divide by the denominator, do not forget to put this in parentheses. Do not forget your negative sign. So we're going to divide by -3 divided by 2, and you're going to get like 6,000 something. That is the correct answer. Now listen, earlier today I did try to convert this to a fraction because we do want exact answers. But when I hit second PRB and hit enter, it doesn't do anything, so I'm stuck with that form. So the total for this, when we add up all 10 of these numbers, we're going to get 6,357, and we're just going to have to round to 162 after the decimal point. All right, guys, just remember when you type this into the calculator, you get like 12.4999999. It rounds up to 12.5 for that.